Good morning, it's 8:30 a.m. and we are in session today to do budgets, and we are starting with the clerk's office budget. I don't have a spreadsheet yet.
Oh, shoot. Do you have it?
No.
Sent yesterday evening?
Yeah, I don't have it in email, but I just found it in the shared files. I'm in there. All right, Kim, if you would like to begin with your salary and benefits and then move to your expenses, revenues.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Kim.
Morning.
Well, the salaries and benefits are what we provided, what we were provided, but we did go in and update. We did have a longtime employee retire, so we took her out and then adjusted according to increases that would be happening throughout the year. So that was done. It's pretty darn close. In a nutshell, revenues are down just a little bit, and expenses are up just a little bit.
So for your salaries, employee list, your one vacant position is all you have vacant right now?
I just had a person leave on Monday, so now I actually have 2 vacant. The plan is to fill those.
Do you have any requests, new positions for 2026?
For new positions, no.
No new positions. Okay, thank you. Any reclassifications that you're expecting in 2026?
Not unless there's something that happens with
The salary stuff.
organization connections thing, yeah.
Thank you.
For expenses, I did put in, we're in the process of moving to a paperless system. So I'm going to have to provide some way for the public to view cases. So I did put in a request for a public computer and also put in the CDI silver package for any updates that we need to do to our e-filing system. We did end up needing to use that this year, and I anticipate that going paperless and that we're gonna probably have some changes that are above what TS can help us with. So I think.
Do you want to provide a public-facing computer, or you want to use Laserfish to provide links so they can do it from home?
I'm required by statute to have the ability to provide access to the public free of charge at my office.
Don't you guys have a room for that out front?
What's that?
Do you have a room for that where they can go in and get on a computer?
No. I do have a space in my waiting area that already has a ledge there. It's not a table, but a ledge. That I think a keyboard will fit on, and it has a space on the wall that I think would be okay on the other side for the computer to actually be. So in my head, I have a vision. I think it'll be pretty simple. It'll be very similar to what district court has down here. It's be very locked down as far as what it can do. So I did ask for that. Expenses went up, including labor relations and background checks. I would think that would counterbalance with what HR will not be asking for. I did ask, and I don't know if you got the letter, but did ask for me and at least one staff person to attend the Empower conference that Laserfish does in Las Vegas once a year. We have not attended that before, but we are one of the Laserfish power users in the county, and I think it makes sense for us to be a little more trained up in that. I did, our Clerks Association had a dues increase, so that went up. And then I put in a miscellaneous 5,000. We just don't know yet how having a jail across town is going to affect what we do, and if we're going to need new software or something like that. So it was just kind of a placeholder, really. Request some additional funds in case we need something to accommodate the jail being across town.
Mandy, on the spreadsheet I'm looking at, the columns are locked between H and Z, so I can only see actuals through 2024. And when I try and click on unhide columns, nothing will unhide.
Should be able to swipe it to the right.
I couldn't get that either. One moment. Other than that, everything was pretty much just where we've been running and taking 2025 actuals and projecting out what that might look like in 2026.
Which column?
I and J.
In expense tab?
Yeah.
It's the weird. I don't know why.
It happened a couple of times the other day too, and I couldn't.
They're unhidden for me. I'm not sure.
I'll keep trying to figure it out.
When it said like see just yours or see everyone's, do you know what you selected?
It doesn't.
It didn't.
Doesn't give me that. It's just unhide. That's all it says.
and it doesn't prompt anything?
I got it this time, so.
Okay. Yeah, that's strange.
Last time I was doing this, you said, Tom, what are you doing? So I wanted to make sure I wasn't messing things up.
You have any questions for me?
I don't have any questions.
So now it's not hidden. It's just weird the way it's formatted.
Is it because it's frozen?
I don't know. Well, no, so the columns unhid, but when they did, now it will only show me I through N, so now I can't see the expense list.
Oh, I
It's
can't-
just, it's
I can't
very, it's bizarre. Now it's all back. Now it's all there.
Yeah, mine too.
Magic, Mandy magic.
Maybe magic. I can see it all now as well. Thank you, Mandy.
That's better.
Commissioner Jones, did you have any questions?
No.
Answered my question, so.
Thanks, Kim. No other questions? Okay. Just looking at the enormous revenues. We will go into recess until 9 a.m. when we are back for fairgrounds budget.
That's the difference?
It should, you
Good
can look
morning,
at
it's
this
9:01
cell and see.
a.m.
The longevity is the same, so that should be right then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I changed that to 0. Nice try. Try to
Probably.
sneak in that extra 3%, yeah.
That's probably it.
All right, we're here for the fairgrounds budget with Jim McKiernan. Jim, you want to start on your first page or on?
Salaries, I think is what
Yep.
Andy said to start on.
Okay, let's do it.
And I think I got everything in there as far as our folks. There is some questions. Well, there's no question on the salaries as far as, although I had the COLA accidentally in the one I submitted, so.
Accidentally.
Accidentally. Actually, I should have, yeah, said it at 6 or 7%, but I didn't. But it is in there, everybody's in there, the dates are right. Any changes per step changes are in there. So I believe we're good to go on that.
It is Zach Russell.
Zach?
He's considered, he's out, or he's under you.
Yeah, well, he's the same as Ken Lori. And we got our new accounting tech in there too.
Are you planning on any reclassifications or new positions on camera?
I'm hoping that as the compensation study's done, the accounting technician is brought up to comparative to the rest of the county.
But you didn't actually put anything.
I didn't put anything in there. Benefits. I think I got it right.
Are you requesting overtime? Or,
Well, I put that as a separate line item on the budget.
okay. There's a little bit of benefits that go along with that, so we have it on that tab too, but I will correct that for you.
We'll want to do expenses next.
Yes.
I did, I was very conservative on my expenses. In fact, if you look at the bottom line compared to this year, I'm actually below this year's expense budget, which I'll bet there's no other department in the county that can say that. Oh, you are?
No, there are other funds.
Really?
Yep, projections.
Surprise, surprise. There's a couple of change, I think Mandy's got everything in. Can you make that bigger, Mandy? I can't see anything.
sir, one moment. Let me reduce some of this extra stuff and zoom in.
So the one thing that is highlighted in yellow there is I have no idea what our interfund insurance is supposed to be.
I have to increase it 14%, but we're still gonna touch bases with Brett to verify those amounts.
Is it 14% over the budgeted amount last year or the 618?
The actuals. 14% over the,
618?
yeah,
I don't understand why the fairgrounds is getting charged such a large amount of insurance. I know we have a lot of buildings, but holy crap.
Probably people on grounds too.
Liability.
I have it open on another.
I mean, it's 7 million.
400 cows.
Yeah.
Stepping in a cow pond.
So this doesn't include the excess insurance that was purchased recently, but fairgrounds, where are you?
Remember that there was an error in that last year. That's why there's a significant increase. Something wasn't allocated properly.
It was this part that wasn't in your budget. Your vehicles, your equipment, and your buildings. So if those haven't changed or been updated with your,
Well, except on one, and I guess, so I think we need to study what's in vehicles. We have one pickup truck.
and so that change this comes directly from Clear Risk. And this is what they've calculated the premiums on. So Blair would need to work with them to get this up to date to be
Okay.
accurate.
I'll work with Blair. Because I think we're being overcharged for vehicles. I have one pickup truck and I think our equipment probably is.
So these are the
Probably some stuff that's
vehicles
surplus.
that the premium was based on last year. 2 trucks and 4 trailers.
Yeah, see, and we have one truck and 2 trailers.
Well, actually, there's no premium for these 3 trailers,
Okay,
so,
perfect. And then one of the pickups is gone, so
and then your,
probably the $6,000, 2001 Ford F-150 or whatever. it was.
then your property is a bunch,
Yeah, we got a lot of those.
so.
And I know we went over that with Shane once already, so those should be fine.
But I would go over that again with Blair.
Okay. So that number might not be done yet. So that was the only variable I didn't know. And then if we go to the last part, the 9704. Holy moly. Maybe I need to resubmit raising rates.
Which one?
9704, so if we look at 3100.
Okay, so this section, your interim?
Yep, go over to the far right. The 26 budget, it should be 14. Okay, good, 14.3. So that one there, the top one's 14.3.
It's 172,800.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some numbers.
Okay,
14.3, the next one take out completely. The next one should be 27,000. The next one should be 12,000. Next one should be 0. Next one should be 8,000. And take out, the next one that should be 0, 0. That one should be 26,000. There's where we're at. So I was below last year's, but now with the insurance amount, I'm a little above last year. So then the interfund transfer, well, we'll get to revenue in that. And revenues, are you gonna make that bigger? So the 26 budget, local grants should be 70,000. We don't know what the Moses Lake LTAC amount is gonna be yet, but we're hoping that it's gonna be comparative to last year. They have not, I asked last night, they still have not approved it at the council level. So that should be next one up should be 70, City of Moses Lake.
Double?
And then go down to the 1,400 operational transfer from tourism, which right now you have as 125 should be 115. We did get those numbers. We won't do the transfer yet. Let's go down to 9704 at the bottom. Merchandise should be 12.5. And then zero, next one, 0, 3,000, 4,500, and 8,000.
Are you just not doing these, or do you just don't know what they are?
We don't break out camping separately, and we don't charge admission in the same sense. We actually pay for entertainment. Because we have a partnership, we don't get the admission. It's a split of profits for Flannel Fest, so it's not really categorized under our. We profited $30,000 this year for Flannel Fest, but we split that evenly, and we split the expenses evenly with our partner, JFIL. And so, but we keep it in the form of LTAC revenue and commissions from alcohol sales and food. So we see all that revenue, and they see the ticket revenue, and the two when we combine them. Just the way it falls. That's pretty much it. So whatever the difference is between those two amounts is what the interfund transfer would be. I was trying to shoot for under last year. Well, last year's was 550,296.
Well, it's probably gonna be more, right?
Yeah, because of insurance.
Should have a button made for you.
But yeah, insurance. I don't need no stinking insurance. We probably don't. We probably need insurance.
More to come on that too.
More what?
More to come on that.
Yeah.
We're working on it,
See if it was time to get quoted by somebody else.
maybe.
Last year is like it issued through the state. I mean, it was,
Well, there were a number of meetings prior to us going into budget, and both Shane and Blair were pretty convinced we were gonna be below 10%. So
Well, that's last year's. Hold on, I'm gonna get your transfer in just a second.
I saw clear risk go at the deal. I told him, hey, what's up, guys? I'd say hi, but you should probably bring down that number, and then I'll say hi next time.
And did they say, okay?
No, that the blonde girl that does stuff for him thought it was funny. The vice president guy, he was funny at all.
Oh,
he didn't have a good sense of humor about it.
I think it's a reflection of the whole industry right now, isn't it?
That's what I heard, that's what I understand last year. It was,
So 900,000?
$900,000 versus 550, with a $300,000 increase in insurance rates.
Ouch.
So one of the things I think we need to look at again next year is maybe we need to, well, we already approved rates for 2026, but maybe we need to revisit them halfway through the year and look at changing rates a little bit again. Our rental rates for buildings, I mean, we're full next year. We don't have very many open days, so it's my business sense always says when you've sold something out, you raise the price. So maybe we need to raise building rental prices.
Well, yeah, but they're already sold out, right? So you can't.
Well, except what we tell people when we book 26 events is that 26 rates have not yet been established, so there may be a slight increase. So we do have that caveat. We could, and if we raised a mid-year, that might be a better thing. And we're sold out on equestrian events, so it's probably time to start raising those rates a little bit more again. I know they always complain, but And the local barrel race club will be in here asking to have a meeting with the commissioners when I suggest that we raise their prices, but you know what? We're not a charity, that's the
Maybe
thing.
they can pay for part of our insurance then, if they don't like it.
Yeah.
Are the Arabian groups gonna do another regional event or a regional event?
I would expect, yeah, their numbers were better this year, so I think they'll be back. Quarter horse numbers have been down, so I'm not sure we'll have as many of those events. And we're meeting with the local barrel race club this afternoon to see what they want to do for next year. We kind of try to intersperse them on days that we don't have anything so that we don't impact, $1,000 event versus a $60,000 event. It's kind of easy to say, well, $60,000 event should win from a revenue standpoint, so. Yeah, so I think maybe I'll submit something to talk about raising prices.
Where are we at compared to some of the other places? I mean, I think we have a better facility, so I think we should.
Well, I
have a
think
higher
that's the
price.
thing is especially things like stall rentals were comparative to pretty much everybody else as far as the price goes. For arena rentals, we're probably a little low. So I think I'd raise arena rental prices first and then maybe, the other thing, we're spending more money on getting rid of shavings. Where it used to be, the Blueberry Farm would take all our shavings for free. We're generating so many loads of shavings, probably 40 semi-loads a year, 40 to 45 semi-loads a year of used shavings. And so we're paying now a company to come take those. And it's a farmer in Warden who used them I think he used them as a part of a soil regeneration, something or other.
You're paying some to the blueberry farmer, right?
And we did, yeah, because he's getting to the point where he couldn't afford to send the truck for free, so we were paying $175 a load for him. His is a smaller load.
Which is still a deal.
Which is still a deal, yeah. So we're paying more to get rid of shavings. We did raise our shavings price this year. But that's been a cost. And then security costs continue to increase. Next year for fair, I think we don't need 20 officers, but maybe it's 12. And I'm trying to get the Rodeo Association to agree to also use Seattle's Finest, but it's hard sometimes to get a group of 50 to agree on one thing. So, but I think we're slowly swaying them to say, hey, let's use.
Well, they're here.
They're there and they might as well make a patrol, and they're far better than the company they use. And I mean, we had no problem. We had too many police officers, I think, honestly, because I think it did scare the Hispanic population thinking it was ICE and it was not ICE. So I think if we had 12 instead of 20 next year to supplement what Joey provides, I think that'd be plenty. Flannel Fest went good. Moravita was down about 1,500 people per placer. And I have a meeting on Monday with Placer. I was supposed to do it today, but we rescheduled for Monday to come up with a cost. I did have a couple people from the tourism commission come up to me, Rob, and say, hey, that's a great idea. So finally they're coming around.
I don't know.
Maybe. I'm guessing it's going to be in the $30,000 range for a county.
Yeah, that's what I assume. We just need to figure out how many sign-ons and who has access. And it'd be nice if we could give one-time access. If an event wanted to be able to look at stuff, give them a one-time code.
Well, I think you tell them, hey, go see Jim. Jim will get you numbers.
Yeah,
I can get numbers.
that doesn't always work though.
I can get numbers pretty fast and send them electronically pretty darn fast.
So I was gonna say, somebody should just be a main administrator for the program.
Yeah, and I can do that because
Probably
I feel
gonna be.
pretty, well, I think Caitlin and I would spend some time, yeah, because I think she would be a good person to have one of the seats. I had suggested tourism get ones, maybe Rochelle gets one.
No.
Okay, whoever you would like to designate, Caitlin and I, and then if there's anybody else on the tourism commission. So. And any other questions? The only other thing I was going to say is I do have copies of the proposed capital things, I know it's next week's discussion, but we did get the 2 grants, which total of $335,000 for additional lighting and a sound system for the rodeo arena. So those would be at the top of my list for matching funds. And then there's some rodeo arena improvements that they're asking for, and that really comes down to how much we want to spend on the rodeo arena. We do have a couple of things that we really want to try to push forward next year, which is the Lioness booth improvements to move them. They generate $30,000, $35,000 a year in commissions for us at the fair, and so getting them moved is a big deal. We need more storage and just a few other things. But, and then I know Tom's got some things on the project side too. Any questions?
So I'm clear you're not asking for any new positions in 2026?
Just the only one I'm hoping that as you do the compensation study, the accounting positions, there's equitability, and our accounting position, I will say, is probably closer to a full charge bookkeeper than, and I'm sure there's other departments in the county that have the same situation, but ours is really, they're doing payables, receivables, reconciliations of credit cards, camping reconciliations, which takes a lot of time. They're doing 2 different credit card clearinghouse reconciliations. So it's basically a business bookkeeper. So. Anything else?
I got it.
No.
Good. All right.
And
Thank you.
seasonal's about the same as this last year?
What's that?
Your seasonal's about the same as,
Yeah, I actually dropped it a tad bit, I believe.
Yeah.
Temp help, I did, well, last year I had 50,000 budgeted, I had 60,000 budgeted this year. We probably kept one seasonal a little too long, this year, but yeah, same number. The outdoor one, 2 in the office, and then the outdoor ones, I had 4 last year. I could probably do with 3 this year, 3 good ones. I had 4 good ones, 3 really good ones. And I'm assuming the rate the same. I didn't plan on changing the rate. It's kind of set by whatever you all decide with Public Works, I think, anyway.
okay. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Thanks, Jim.
thank you.
All right, we're going to quick recess till 9:30, and then we'll be back for bonds budget meeting. Good morning, it's 9:30 a.m. and we are here for miscellaneous bonds budget meeting. We have 203, 205, 208, and 211.
One moment, I need to find something.
This is time to let you know that, because we have the current expense balance reflected with all the unknown, the transfers that have pieces unresolved, and we're using current expense as the catch-all, and it is affecting, creating an unknown balance for current expense. We've now moved all those unknowns to an unused public works squaring fund so the current expense wasn't showing a number that's a distorted number, which that balance right now is over about $4.9 million of things we haven't resolved yet. So that will have to be a negative on the month-end report on that. So we took it out of current expense and put it in there of all the unresolved transactions. Now, a big part of it may be current expense. We don't know yet because we haven't received the complete funding of all the departments for a bunch of transfers. And at one count is over 60 of them. I was also told by Matt yesterday that the numbers, the new construction numbers weren't complete numbers. And that could be a different number.
Who told you that?
Matt Hope.
Oh,
I called him yesterday asking, since I haven't been given any numbers from Melissa yet, that he hadn't given it to me because it wasn't the correct, the new construction numbers is still just a rough estimate. And that
she's certified at that number.
I know what Matt told me is the reason why they didn't get a fee yet. Plus my refund levies that they were given weren't sent out to the districts, so I don't know if they have another mailing to do.
Tom, do you have the bond payment amount for the morgue construction?
Memorial construction? Yeah. So the 2025 payment should be $664,590.
Is that just the principal?
Principal is 510,000, interest is 150 for 490.
Were we paying that with SIP? What monies were we gonna pay that debt with?
They haven't told out what they're gonna do for the 2026 payment yet officially.
Right, but for 25, the payment's coming up.
I thought it was, were we gonna use economic enhancement?
Yes,
Okay, so then it's just, it's the 5 nights money, the ones that's not given to the committee, the 4 nights where they do the grants from, but the 5 nights money. So I believe that would be 133. That payment will be transferred from. I'm not sure a budget has been done for that fund yet for this year.
It was scheduled during the budget meetings to be talked about.
so the first bond, the fair, which would be funded to 2023, is in principle for 2026, 800,000. And for interest, 64,800. So in total, 864,800. So that will require transfer in of that amount. Funding sources to be determined at our capital outlay meeting. The MAC construction bond principal for 2020.
Can I stop you there for a
Uh-huh.
second? So for the fair bond payment, the payment fund is gonna be determined, hasn't it already been determined?
133 pays it, but I mean, we haven't formally done that because we do that in the capital budget meeting.
Each year?
But,
Yeah.
so we're saying this year's payment will be paid out of 133. Is that what you're saying?
2025's is 133 right now, yes. 2026 will probably 133, yes, but it hasn't been adopted into our budget.
Yeah, no,
For
my apologies.
2026.
I thought once it was established, whenever the bond was done, that payment.
It's supposed to be
source was-
approved every year for the funding source, yes. MAC construction bond in principle is only, one second. Gerald, there's 2 MAC construction bonds. Are they separated in this one in 208 or are they combined? The MAC
We
205?
only created one bond fund.
So the 2014 LTGO and the 2017 LTGO are in 205?
Yeah. Those would come out of 135.
Yes, 135 would pay for those. So in total, $1,008,456 for the MAC LTGO bonds. One moment, let me share this spreadsheet too.
And are you just looking at an expense sheet on the internet to get that, or are you in GP?
No. One moment, I'm just gonna share my spreadsheet.
You don't need to, I was just curious.
Well, I mean, I was in the process of doing that anyway. I using the 2025 budget, updating it with our debt refunding schedule, and yeah, I have the GP expenditures and revenues for those. We make our payments in July and December, so those are up to
I was
date.
just looking at the PDFs and the expense on the internet, so.
The courthouse bond principal is 315,000, and the interest is 151,800, 151,800. Which required transfer, that amount.
What fund was paying for that one this year?
We haven't decided, but it was coming out of 133 for 2025.
For which one?
Courthouse bond.
SIP 133.
Yeah, that courthouse fund. Is that where it normally comes out of?
Yes,
The three places that we take it up right, within our current expense would be REIT,
Yeah.
the 135 for MAC, and 133 versus 113. And then unless you wanted to have the other monies, ARPA monies to pay something. If you're looking for something, just if you have any money left that hasn't been spent.
We can spend ARPA till wherever we want, right?
the criminal justice bond payment for the new jail is principal of 1,025,000 and interest of 3,776,912 for 4.8 million.
Say that again for,
For the criminal justice debt service payment, 4.8 million. 1,025,000 for principal, 3.7 million for interest. Is that different in your schedule?
it is, in 2025, I show a higher amount because of that second bond. So I show that when we did the second bond for $60 million, that added to it. So I don't know if maybe you're just doing them.
So I don't have the 2025 bond on there.
Okay.
Where's that schedule?
So I have the schedule from our bond agent, and that's it. So I show interest on that this year at $1,681,265.
1,000,000.
681,265
Okay. Uh-huh.
with an annual payment of the same, which makes the combined payment $6,487,178.
So the principal's not,
No, there's not supposed to be any principal.
oh, just interest only?
It's only interest only.
Okay, so 6.4 million,
6,487,178.
483 is
So
177. That's weird. Why am I off exactly $2,000? How much?
and of course, this is a schedule, so throughout the year, this is based on projections, so it could be a little bit different. I don't know if you want this whole thing, it was just easier to read. So,
Okay. I mean, I got it close enough.
That's, you can get it out of 117.
Yes. And then our new more construction bond has not yet been established as a fund, but intended to be a 200 level and will pay $667,000 in principal and interest for 2026.
And we discussed 133.
So our total in bond payments for 2026 is just,
So we don't have a interest payment this year
for what?
for the morgue?
In 2025, we haven't,
we bonded for that last bond.
Right, but should we have an interest payment for this year?
in December,
Yes.
we would have to do a budget extension for it because
Right,
it didn't
right.
exist at the beginning of the
So
year.
that's what I was saying is, that's what I said at the beginning is we need to do a budget for the morgue for this year's
You're
payment.
talking about the interest, you're talking about the interest revenue and the interest?
No, I'm talking about the coupon interest.
Okay.
We're paying coupon interest
Yeah.
on the jail. We'd also be have an interest payment,
On the morning.
and we may have a principal
Why-
on that schedule for the morgue.
Oh.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
you'll have to do a hearing for a budget extension.
Yes, we will have to do that in December for that one. But in total, about approximately 9.2 million in debt service payments for 2026.
What was it? I'm sorry, I missed that.
9.2 million.
And the only thing I have to go off of is, after the bond is completed and I get the sheets from Jim Nelson. And outside of that, I'm just trying to update it at the end of the year. So, because it's always in flux every month.
And unless I've missed any bonds, that's what I have.
I guess some key points that would be important to the board is, that I can get really quickly, go upstairs and get really quickly, is current ending cash balances for 133.
Yeah.
117.
I would have them as of September.
Right.
Do you want me to?
But, so, if you want those numbers, I can do them. I was just reviewing numbers for October this morning. Before we start printing reports.
Andy, will you give me access to bond payments, please?
Should be in your email now.
Yeah, it's just starting. I didn't even have my usual first look at the current expense balance. I didn't even get that far. I was working on investment balance, making sure the investments balance and everything. Before I start looking at each fund and see if it seems right.
Yeah, Daryl, this would be the principal and interest for this year that we'll do an extension for in December.
That's what was scheduled after the bond was.
Yeah, we didn't know it till
yes,
mid-year.
yeah, so 664,590 is for 25 December. That we will have to do a budget extension for. I don't know if there will be any fiscal agent fees, so we may want to add another few thousand to that budget extension in case we do get charged fiscal agent fees for the morgue bond.
Is that for fiscal agent fees, is that Jim, or is that the attorney?
No, that's the people, that's contracted, US Bank, that's contracted to take care of all the payments for all, it's a fiscal agent contract that the state initiates on behalf of all the counties and cities in the state, where we have all monies flow through a central entity to make all these payments. So that we're not sending individual payments to all these places. We're all our money's going to one place, and then they disperse it out on the presentment of the documents.
Is there a
So,
person we can contact to find out if we're getting a fiscal agent fee, so that we can plan it in our budget extension?
probably, we just got a whole bunch of notices of fiscal agent fees, or notices, because we don't usually get the fiscal agent fee notice until after the issue's done to make payments from all these funds. So I'd have to ask Carrie how much, if she knows the person to contact to see what fiscal agent fees we pay. Because each year, depending on your debt, it can be based on the contract agreement, which is a multi-year. They also agree on fiscal agent fee charges to be charged. And so that can be, an old issue could have fees and a new issue could have no fees. So it's not consistent among all issues.
So Matt was telling you that the new construction value was gonna be different?
He said they couldn't give it to me because they weren't ready yet to give me the number, the correct number, and the new construction value for the TIF.
Rachel is working on getting the finalized numbers for the affected districts regarding the LTIF. We were waiting on the Department of Revenue on a question. They did not get back to us, so we talked to another county. That will be going out soon. She's working on the email right now.
I wish I knew what question they asked, because sometimes the question is not the correct question. And then I have to follow up and ask, and re-ask the question that should have been asked in the first place. I found that happen again on a question I had that they didn't.
Are you able to just do that?
Yeah.
Because the questions asked, it's not the right question, talking in tongues. Can you just reach out to whoever it is?
Yeah, I've sent some questions to DWARC, and I've had to do follow-up. They gave us opinion on one thing, and then I had to follow it up and say, well, that's not really what I was asking, that they asked for me. And waiting for the response is so that they know the full story to give me the answer to the question that's going on now. It would be nice if I got to see the questions that they send that affect me before they send it.
Why do you suppose that doesn't happen? All right, so thank you for your patience. We're finalizing the information to certify our values attached to the preliminary new construction values for 2025-26. Refund levy information from the Treasurer's Office 2025-26, highest lawful levies, levy certification. So I'm going to send you this email. So I'm assuming these are the numbers that you know, I'm gonna forward this to you as well, Mandy, so you have it. I don't know if it's something you want or not.
Numbers for,
Preliminary new construction, the highest lawful levy and the refund levy for 2026.
That's the final?
Caitlin's bringing the final down right now.
I'd like to just get the final, so I don't have
Well,
multiple numbers.
that levy certification has nothing to do with the revenues.
you build it off that though.
I put in a collection rate. We also determine delinquents and everything to determine the actual revenue amount. So that's just one bit of data for that calculation.
Yeah. I just care about Daryl's numbers.
What was it?
472 million or whatever. I mean, it's signed and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why Matt would have told me differently yesterday.
I'm not sure. And that's the number I texted to you.
Right, I know,
Yeah.
I told him I hadn't got any numbers yet, and he
Maybe you
said, we're still
misunderstood.
working on them. I said, I need the new construction number, and I also need the new construction for that's just in the TIF. And I said, they're not ready for it.
So for the rest of these bonds, for the debt service payments, the funds are gonna come out to you, we'll decide that during our capital outlay meeting.
Yes, officially.
So do we have any questions on the bonds, bond budgets?
I don't. They're all right.
Anything from anybody else? We have prosecuting attorney's office meeting is canceled, so we'll just circle back at 11:30.
Okay. All right.
We'll go into recess until 11:30 and we will be back.
Thanks, Daryl.
Good morning, it's 11:30 and we are here for a work session budget review.
We have 3 funds that were supposed to be reviewed on Monday, but we ran out of time. Would you guys like to view those now?
Which funds were those?
Miscellaneous general government, which is 01125. The left one disability board, which is 0011113, and then also the Board of Eq, which is 001126. I did forward the link to you guys, I believe you guys sent it to you on Monday, but I can send it again if you would like. And it was just a link to the entire folder of books.
Let me see if
Thank you. I just sent the link again.
Oh, good. Thank you.
What do we want to start with?
The disability board would be quick if you want
Do
to
it.
start with
Let's
that
do
one.
it.
Okay, I can share my screen. I've got it up. So I did go through, I heard the requests that you guys had talked about, and I did go through on each of them and add. Mandy, do you mind if I take over the screen sharing, or are you wanting to share your screen?
No, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, so I went through on each one and I added a 2025 budgeted, 2025 actuals, and then the 2026 budget all in a row. So the 2025 ones are highlighted in a different color just to make it a little bit easier to see. You guys can ignore the column that says actuals would be for 2026 actuals, and the cute little graphics on the right are just cute little graphics. For left one, it's pretty straightforward. There's no wages or benefits from our office that gets paid from there. So you just have supplies, interfund communications, which are the mailings that we send out, and travel, which would be for the board to travel to the meetings. I had increased it a little bit, just 1,300, just in case. I believe they're gonna have an election next year for one of the positions, and if they were to have somebody elected who lives outside of the county seat, that would have to be paid mileage. That's something to consider, and I increased it just assuming that the GSA rate would go up for mileage reimbursements. But I left the other two the same, because obviously we're not really close to
Right.
anything. questions?
No, seems pretty simple.
I don't have any questions.
What's the next budget?
We can move on to BOE. I think that one will be a little bit faster than miscellaneous general government. So for the salaries and wages, the benefits, and the temporary help, I only have actuals through July, which I've marked in the notes there. There is a decrease, you'll notice, in the wages and benefits because that's reflecting the change from Barb to myself as the primary clerk. The temporary help, we've left the same. Since we only have actuals through July, I feel that is not a very good representation of the temporary help wages that were paid out, since they had quite a few hearings in between July and October 2nd, which was their last day of hearings. That is budgeted for a full board with alternates all there, which would be 3 primary members and 2 alternate members. And that is with the assumption that they would attend a lot of hearings, which could happen, could not happen. That's the other tricky part of BOE. Again, the wages and benefits, it's a quarter of mine, and I calculated that with that wage and benefit spreadsheet that you guys had looked at on Monday. For office and operating supplies, I left that the same. If we end up having to print out a bunch of stuff for them, or again, depending on how many petitions come in, we might need that dollar amount there. For the small tools, they had wanted to request laptops. So Jerry still has his laptop. The county allowed him to hang on to that when he was the temporary clerk assistant period of time. And he's just hung on to it. But currently they use iPads. So they would need 4 laptops, which would be 2 for the other primary board members and then 1 for each alternate. But the iPads are difficult to use for the petitions because the petition packets are quite a bit. But then also they can't hook them up to the monitors as an extended screen, or if they can, I have not figured it out. So they've been able to hook the iPad up to the monitor to just use the monitor to look at it, but not as an extended screen. So they were
all
hoping.
struggle with those iPads.
Does Jerry need that laptop?
He's been using it for BOE, so he was not issued an iPad, he just held onto it. I have not reached out to TS to see like if they have any laptops or anything like that. They had asked to have this request be part of the budget for the board's consideration.
Because you're pretty much opening up PDF documents, right?
But it stacks, like, especially the data centers, Kevin can attest, that's like
Hundreds of pages.
and you're trying to look through all that on the little thing.
How many iPads are there?
Currently they have 4. I think we have 2 extras upstairs also from when there were 6. So we used to have 3 primary members and 3 alternates.
We could repurpose some for like LTAC and stuff.
Right.
Just build like a file sheet.
Which that would also be really nice to save on the printing costs instead of having to print out 50 LTAC applications 7 times.
And then put them in wrong.
Yep. So that is why that increase is there in the small tools line. Professional services, we don't budget anything, so I did not include that this year. For interfund communication, that is the mailings. Again, I increased it just assuming that the cost to mail things would increase. We do need to have that there for the Department of Revenue's guidelines. We need to mail out hard copies of things. Travel, we increased to 5,000. Again, we have an empty alternate member seat. And if we do end up with another member that is from one of the far reaches of the county, they could chew through that travel budget pretty quick. And then miscellaneous, didn't budget anything, had not budgeted anything previously. Any questions?
might put in a SpiceWorks request now to TS and let them know that you might be looking for some repurposed laptops or inexpensive new ones, and explain what they'll be used for, so that they'll know. Because I mean, even though they're hundreds of pages, you don't need a really powerful laptop in order to look through PDFs.
Fairly expensive, I would think.
Yeah, they can get like a Lenovo idea pads, I think, are $4.99 a piece, $500 a piece.
Commissioners, you guys are okay doing that?
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then I'll-
All right with it for now. We'll see at the end when we have to balance the budget.
I can, at the very least, I can open the ticket and maybe get a quote
Yeah.
to have something.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions for this one?
No.
Okay. We can move on to miscellaneous general government then, it's the 125. And then we also have, from Cindy, I forwarded to you guys today, I believe that this would fall into the miscellaneous general government. Is that the Grant County, Toyoyama, Kamaki City student exchange? I believe that's been budgeted in miscellaneous general government before, I believe. That is also something that can be discussed. I'm not sure.
So it's not budgeted in there now.
No, this that Mandy, or sorry, not Mandy, haha. This that Cindy sent over, I have not included in any budget because I don't know if it would be in miscellaneous or if it would go under, I don't know if you can call it economic enhancement or.
Is this 25,000 her request from Grant County? Or is that like split up between multiple?
I could not. Cindy just sent it to me, and all that Raina said in her email to Cindy was, please see attached student exchange budget proposal, and let me know if you have any questions.
So in like 24, we weren't going to renew 25, and 25, we weren't gonna renew, well, 23, we weren't gonna renew 24, 24, we weren't gonna renew 25. 25 grand, I mean, the port's not supporting it, Moses Lake's not supporting it. Nobody's really supporting this one. It's kind of pointless in my opinion, but it has been, so. The budget was bigger than this, looks like it's creeping up again.
And then, I don't know if you saw that note on the bottom, does not include marketing, research, preparations, and translation of documents, presentations, brochures to be shared with the delegation. Here, I apologize. If we want to start there, I can share the screen on this one real quick.
Well, that number could creep up with all these other additional things.
That's what it seems like.
Right.
Here we go.
The problem is delegation brings their own interpreters and brings their own, basically their own staff. You're just like adding on another person. Odd.
It also says,
Cindy's a big proponent on this one. I don't support this one, so it'll just have to wait for Kevin and her.
I can make a note to bring this back during a work session next week.
Yeah, and she's here.
Yeah, because I mean, if we're not getting anything out of it, I don't know why we spent 25 grand.
Commissioners of past at the port's opinion was if these exchanges happen and these kids grow up to be leaders, they will remember a great experience at Grant County and locate their business operations in Grant County in the future. It's kind of a long shot idea, and I don't agree with the idea.
Well, it'd be different if they were paying for half of it. Ports were paying a portion of it.
Yeah, and the port doesn't support this anymore. But I'm just trying to give some background.
I think the sister cities programs are cool programs, but when you grow up, if you're gonna relocate your business to another country, I think you're gonna do a whole lot of research and find the very best spot. Not necessarily just say, I'm gonna go to this place because I went there on a ski.
I remember.
Hey, you know, what's 25 grand, right? It was a joke, Tom.
I know.
I will bring this back next week when Cindy's here.
Perfect.
And miscellaneous general government, we just go line by line if you guys want, just like we've been doing, okay?
Do it.
Advisory services, taxes and assessments, that is the property taxes is the biggest chunk that comes out of that. I left that dollar amount the same. We were about $1,000 under budget this year. Publication services, printing and binding, we have not paid anything out of that line for 2025. I left that the same also. For professional services, left that the same. We have not spent, I mean, we're still under budget and we're in November now. Legislative consultations, I left the same since that goes by the contract. Meals, I increased just a little bit. Again, just assuming that there would be a little inflation. That is the meals for the elected official department head luncheons. For insurance deductible and interfund insurance, those estimates I got for the 2026 budget, I got from Blair. Those were his recommendations to increase to those dollar amounts.
We're going from 20 to 100.
20,000 is what you've spent so far this
We're
year.
going from 70 to 100.
Yep.
Okay. Budgeted 70 last year, okay.
Yep. And that was just Blair's recommendation for those dollar amounts. So.
On the insurance issues, for my update next week, Blair's gonna be there. We are planning on going into an executive session to discuss some insurance stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned something about that yesterday.
The miscellaneous line, the main thing that we pay out of there is recording fees. So it'd be franchise agreements, vacation notices, things like that. I increased it to 1,000 because we have paid $751 out of that so far this year, and we had only budgeted 500. Membership and dues, that'll be WASAC, I believe. Waco is one. There's another one. This is the commissioners' memberships and dues. I left it the same. We've only paid 64,000 out of it this year. And again, I left it the same with the assumption that costs would probably increase. Judgment and damages, I left the same. Again, I do want to note on the far left column, all of those bars codes that are highlighted in the same color are codes that have all been rolled together in Tyler Tech. So the insurance deductible and the interfund insurance currently share the same code in Tyler Tech. If you guys are fine with those being combined, that is just something to keep in mind when you're viewing the budget in Tyler Tech, that it'll be the combined total of those lines. If you want those split out, I guess now would probably be the time for us to ask. I'll just stew on it and I'll just keep going. For the financial services for the state auditor, the number that I put for 2026 is based off of 2024 actuals and through July of 2025 expenditures. And that is, I have not paid anything out of that line. I believe that things have been paid, but it has not been close to $120,000, which is what we had budgeted for 2025. So I decreased it to 95, which is something that I think that was the dollar amount that was budgeted in 2024 for that line was 95,000.
Just very quickly, Mandy, I think earlier in the year I was talking to you about audits, and you were planning on 2 different audits. So is that gonna be?
Yes,
we need to
it's,
account for that. So
yes, it is gonna be significantly larger than 2024's because that was just financial.
I know those go back and forth between coming out of miscellaneous and coming out of one of the auditor's funds. So is that for sure going to be coming out of miscellaneous, or will that be coming out of one of your guys'?
That's your guys' direction, half a dozen to one, 6 to the other.
Yeah, for me, I would think any recommendation on what we would increase that to cover a second audit?
Probably 500 hours based on current rates, $100 an hour. Hold on. I'd say at least bump it up 60,000 for this little cushion, because they're gonna be covering 2 years instead of the normal one for the accountability, and then we'll have to have the financial on top of that as well.
I'll put you at 155,000.
Yeah. We'll get a more accurate estimate before the end of the year when they wrap up the financial audit, because they'll tell us exactly how many hours they're planning to do.
And financial services for DRS, penalties and interest, I left that the same, we haven't paid anything out of that, but not to say that we, pay something out of that at some point, anyways. External legal services, I increased to 75,000, we had 60,000 budgeted for 2025, we've spent 56,000 of that so far. That'll be like Evans, Craven, Lackey, Reese Law Firm, Kutak Rock, those kinds of services. And that 56,000 is also not including the legal fees that Development Services paid out. We initiated that transfer, so I removed it from our expenditures for 2025. We would be well over the 60 if that included Development Services, which from what I understand, he's planning on paying those himself for future years. Pension, other payments to retirees, I left the same since we have not pulled anything out of that. Other elected benefits, intergovernmental services and taxes, I left the same, haven't paid anything out of that for 25. Animal outreach contract and the senior center, which I have senior centers jumping down to the bottom, but I left those the same as well, since those are based off of the contracts that the commissioners would sign with them. Indigent burials are the same, and the intergovernment professional services for public health is also the same. I believe those are contract based as well. And I think the only one that is not on here is like if the commissioners were wanting to continue paying for animal outreach things out of professional services, if you wanted to add budgeted funds in there. So like you guys just approved a $2,000 payment to ARFs for the vaccination clinic.
Right.
So that's part of that 4,000 that's been paid out 2025. And then last year, you guys approved a payment to Grant County Animal Outreach for something very similar. Are you wanting to increase that professional services line for those kinds of funds? Or did you want to plan to add those to the animal outreach contract?
I wouldn't add it to the animal outreach contract since you're gonna be paying it out to other groups.
Are you wanting to add funds? to
Would it be
professional services?
animal services?
Well, so far, the commissioners have only approved things that could be paid out of professional services. So the one that you guys did for animal outreach was paying for the vets to be at that vaccination clinic. So if you were planning on only considering things that could be paid out of professional services, we could just add funds to that line with that assumption.
I don't know, that one's kind of tough because I don't, other than requests, Kevin, is there like a dollar amount you'd be comfortable with offering to service groups for spay and neuter and different things?
That's a tough one. How many did we have this last year?
We only
Two or
did
three?
2, I think.
Yeah, animal outreach was in 24, and then you guys have approved ARFs in 25.
I thought we did pause too in 25. Maybe they didn't do their
Or maybe it was
request.
hands and paws and not animal outreach. I think it was hands and paws.
Yeah, I know we had a couple of them.
Animal outreach, I think you guys gave them an additional, or maybe they just requested an additional amount last year, like in addition to their contract.
I know one of them requested quite a bit this year, and we didn't. I'm okay with that, but we only paid out $4,500 this year from professional services, and that was included in that. I think 7 should be plenty.
Rob, are you good with that?
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions or anything?
Will we be budgeting max service fees for sheriff, coroner, and building?
That's not one that I've put into this budget previously. This is, all of these lines are just based off of lines that we've had in there for the last couple of years
I have
that we've been tracking, I guess, let me clarify.
501,000 for 2025, 493,000 for sheriff for max service fees, 4,150 for coroner, 4,200 for building, numbers provided by Rob.
In miscellaneous general government, those are just not expenditures that we track. This budget, or this format here, is just created using the expenditure tracking spreadsheets that we use in our office, so.
Gotcha. So I don't know,
Why would those expenses for MAC not be out of those departments' budgets? I mean, it's their user cost.
it's been budgeted in here for multiple years.
So if
Well,
you're starting
2024,
over, what would
2025.
you advise?
What?
If you're starting over, what would you advise? I would think it should come out of their budgets because it's their expenses.
I think it's because it's all current expense.
Yeah, I get that, but then
So
it's
whether
not
we put it
realistic.
here or we allocate it directly to them, it's the same pot of money.
Yeah. But it is nice to say, oh, actually, you cost this much to operate, not that much.
Up to you guys, if you want to add it to their budgets or keep it in miscellaneous government. It's weird because it was in 2022's budget, but not 2023's budget, and then it was in 2024 and 2025 budget. The largest, obviously, being sheriff's office.
Now, why would that be? That'd be in our budget.
Miscellaneous general government's always just kind of been used for things like that. But I think you should have actual expenses in department budgets to realize actual costs.
I mean, for consistency, it has been there the last 2 years consistently. So
Probably have new software you guys are gonna be doing this budget on. So for it to change, you might as well change. Tom, do you have any opinion on that one?
On which one? I apologize.
On MAC dispatch user fees being in miscellaneous general government or being listed into the departments that it actually goes from?
Put it in the departments where it actually goes from.
That's where I would as well.
Agreed.
It's, for me, it's in miscellaneous general government, I don't just like immediately understand what it's for, but if I see it coming from the department it affects, it just puts two and two.
Well, the
together.
breakdown
Makes
is then
sense.
clear.
And it's not us that's been paying those out of miscellaneous general government. Because again, I mean, this is just based off of the expenditures that we pay out of our office from these funds. So we have not been the ones paying that.
I don't think you initiated, but we've paid $414,000 to date in these fees for miscellaneous general government.
What is that line?
001.125.0091. It will, so for the sheriff's 9114, then it's 52121 for public service and 04100 for professional services. I have it on my screen, but
Here, I can, if you want to pull it up, I can stop sharing.
so right here at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, those subcodes, we don't have those subcodes as part of our, like the 9114, 9120, 9138, we have not had those as part of our expenditure tracking for the last 2 or 3 years. So whoever's been putting that in the budget and managing those, it's definitely not us. I mean, I would assume that it would be those people that it's named for, sheriff, coroner, and building. I would assume that it would be them that has been creating those budgets or pulling those expenditures, but it's definitely not our office that's been doing that.
Wouldn't that be in their individual budgets, like the coroners and the sheriffs?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
No, that's what you're saying, is that the last couple of years, it's been in miscellaneous general government, but we haven't, it has not been, at least I can tell you this year and last year, like when we did the budgets in 2024, we did not have those as part of.
MAC probably initiates it, would be my guess. They probably bill it and it just gets paid. So I guess you guys can just ponder on that, whether it goes here or goes in the individual budgets, it's same pot of money. Yeah, like I said, it's weird because it like goes back and forth, 2022 and then not there and then back again.
I texted Craig to see if he remembers paying these in the past.
I think it was miscellaneous general government mainly. I just don't, I don't think, I wouldn't have it there.
It doesn't look like coroner's paid it in several years. It's been budgeted to coroner, but building and sheriff.
Just leave it there for now and research it and figure out what to do with it next year. Changes the budget.
then, I guess, are, like, it has not been our office that's been paying those invoices. So my assumption would be that they're just going directly to those offices that's getting paid out of. Is that how you guys want to continue having it be?
Has it just been a transfer?
I think it's just a transfer to Mac, yeah.
So it just happens in the background and what,
Well, let me see what the last one was.
is there something that easy you to do that each year that what's the trigger?
I think she's looking.
Well, I guess maybe if
Looking to
Max
see who
sends a
initiates the
bill.
transfer.
So, yeah, Max sends a bill. My question there would be, how do you know it needs to be paid? I'm not.
Mac bills it monthly.
So it's a monthly bill.
It's part of Mac's transfer. They initiate the transfer.
Okay.
They bill it monthly and it gets
And you just
transferred.
saw it, so it's something that's going on in the background.
Yeah, it's a transfer that accounting processes based off Mac's initiating
And
it.
you're just taking it out of miscellaneous general government.
Yes. Based off the budget.
So if I'm using Power BI to show this stuff to the public on a website next year, that would be a good one to show under the individual budgets, but it wouldn't really matter, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter where it comes from, but it just seems like if you're trying to understand the budget, then it should come out of the department.
Well, make it
It's
a lot
budget.
easier for the public to understand.
Make it easier for me to understand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my.
A bunch of expenses hidden in random codes is,
Well, I don't know why it's necessarily only charged to sheriffs and Mac, because it's a service the whole county utilizes.
yeah,
911
Mac
communications.
is, the sheriff is billed based on, I live in the county, I call 911, they are billed. Yes. But it is still their cost.
Is that,
That's how it works.
yeah, no, I'm just wondering if that is in any way affected with this kerfuffle between 365 Labs and Spillman.
No.
Is it,
365 Labs, I mean, it would probably sort itself out if everybody would, it'd probably be sorted out by now if they would just work together on it, but.
would it make, could we just move those into those departments' budget lines and that doesn't really change anything? It just shows in those departments, so it's a little
Yeah,
bit more transparent.
absolutely.
I would agree.
You want to do that? So why don't we just do that? Since the transfer happens in the background regardless, it doesn't really matter where it resides. But it's,
Right.
from a transparency sake, it makes more sense to anybody looking.
I would agree with that. It's easy.
And I think at one point it was in the sheriff's budget. Let me go back to that one.
And then don't tell them, let's see if he just notices.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's been coming out of this.
It's gone back. It's
Long time.
I remember seeing it and it's been in the sheriff's budget before. And so at some point they decided to change it. And unfortunately, that's institutional knowledge that's gone.
They slipped one on us.
Cindy might know, maybe, or the
That's
sheriff
how-
might
that's how-
know.
Yeah, the 1 year they had a decrease.
Because if I go to,
And then what do you?
don't see it in their sheriff budget at all. Weird. Did you message Joey?
Oh, I'm going. We would just have to add that entire line and we'd have to, instead of having that fund number in miscellaneous general government, we'd have to plus his budget up somewhere, right? Like if we were to add that to the sheriff's. We would have to
Yeah,
put a
it's
plus
just
up
public
somewhere in his
safety,
budget.
yeah. We could give it a MAC program code, yeah.
Because you wouldn't leave it in with a miscellaneous general services code. You'd have to,
I'd have to create a new code for it, yeah. If we move it to their budget.
it's Friday, I don't know that I'll hear from Joe.
I was gonna say, work on Fridays.
Is this something that
Questionable.
commissioners want brought back next week, or you want to try to hash it out now?
Yeah, I think we should bring it back next week.
Where we put the fund?
Has it been officially decided that it's going into their budgets?
I mean, I would put it in there, I mean, that'd
I
be
guess
my
the two of us-
opinion, so
If the two of
yes.
us agree, then yeah. I mean, I'm.
I don't know why it wouldn't. I mean, I get it makes their budgets bigger, which of course then they don't like that, but I mean, we need to just remember and
But that's-
acknowledge why.
That's an easy note during a budget meeting.
Exactly, it's not a big deal. They're not gonna get their budget cut because we moved it there. They're gonna get it cut for other reasons. It's true.
So who was it? It was the coroner, it was the sheriff, and who else?
Core sheriff and building department. But the coroner hasn't been charged to them.
Yeah.
It's been budgeted to them, but not charged to them.
Either way, it's the same deal as the sheriff and building, right? I mean, if we add it to one of their budget lines, what have you, give it a MAC number, it doesn't really harm their budget. It doesn't do anything but show up in their budget.
No, it would be isolated to clearly show that it's MAC services.
So I think that's the direction from the two board members, and then if you want, I'll send an email out to the sheriff and the coroner and the building and let them know that that's gonna be added and not to be surprised.
I wonder if we even need to budget for coroner? Or, let me look at one of the MAC invoices to see.
Why would the coroner get billed for that? Just because when they call them out, or?
Well, sometimes they respond and they just go direct to the coroner's office. Actually, they go direct to Samaritan. I would think that Samaritan would get charged.
That may change.
That may change.
Leave it where the way it is, because it may change.
So it looks like the charges from MAC are based on actuals for each month. So it is possible that the coroner doesn't get activity anymore through that service. We might have to just confirm with him if that's the case, if they
I've got a
did
text
something.
sent to him, so he should. Responding. But either way, we can plan on making that adjustment, and I can email him regardless. Those are the three that you had, Caitlin, was the miscellaneous general government, left, and disability, and
All the other ones have scheduled budgeted time, so there's just those three that we didn't get to on Monday.
Do we have any other we want to touch on?
I don't have any more.
no, my schedule next week changed a little bit last night, so I'm gonna be here Monday. Tuesday is Veterans Day. Wednesday, I have to be home because my father-in-law is put in a hospice, so I've got something I have to do there. So I'll be working, I just have to be somewhere.
All right, are there any budgets you guys want to touch on or recap on or go back over?
I don't have any. I think ours have all been rescheduled.
All right.
Is for the plan going forward, so is the plan to have, since we've had quite a few budgets we've gone through this week, is the plan to get those budgets and either roll them up into one giant Excel spreadsheet and compare what the proposed budget is to what we have, or are you going to try and get them all into Tyler? What's your plan as we get through this week and next week before the board adopts the budget?
I'd like to have them in Tyler before it's adopted, the first Monday of December. As for next week, whether it's easier to update the spreadsheets they've already created or get I don't know how long Tyler's gonna take. There's other things affecting the ability to update it besides time. So probably the plan is to update the spreadsheets that they've created so that they're in the format with comparable.
Say that it needs to be, I mean, it technically doesn't need to be in Tyler until January. It has to be in
Yes.
January when we go.
That's
over
when we
rollover
put it in
January.
GP.
So we can do it on our
Like we've
budget
done in the
sheets
past.
and in the past, and then we've always done that. It's never been loaded into GP until it's already done.
No, and that's
then
fine.
it's
I'm
loaded
just-
in January
Yeah, I'm just curious, because I think they're gonna wanna see the budget totals.
as a whole.
You know, and then decide whether or not we have to go back and tell folks, wait a minute, we have to reduce, or, you know,
And
I know we're not done yet, but.
that preliminary form that we gave will be updated with the new numbers as we go. So that's usually what they've always used to make that decision where they need to cut.
All right, thanks. I'm just asking.
Are there other issues with Tyler?
Yeah, 'cause we
The September data.
those fix there.
And it's not Tyler's issue, it's GP's issue, getting it uploaded.
Well, and, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be in Tyler,
Right.
so,
Off the
yeah.
budget.
And the form that you saw Monday, Kevin, that's what gets adopted historically, and that's it.
Yeah, I just think they're gonna want time to look at it and decide where to go back. So. I have a feeling there's gonna be some cuts.
Anything further? All right, then we will recess for today and be back on Monday.